More than 100 years prior to the ratification of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, British Protestants were granted the right to have arms for their defense suitable to their conditions as allowed by law. But you might say the British don't have a right to have arms. And you might be right. You see, the British Protestants were granted the right by the government as allowed by law, which means the law could take them away. The Second Amendment is different. We have the right to keep and bear arms without the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment guarantees the right that we already have. Unfortunately, the Second Amendment is subject to judicial interpretation. The judges can interpret the Second Amendment by saying that it doesn't mean what it says, and there is no right. In a very famous gun rights decision known as Heller, 4 of the 9 Supreme Court justices voted the right of the people to keep and bear arms does not mean people have the right to keep and bear arms. It means the government has the right to keep and bear arms. Fortunately, 5 of the justices voted that yes, the people do have the right to keep and bear arms. Second Amendment says the right shall not be infringed. Even the 5 people that voted people have the right to keep and bear arms, they also voted the right can be infringed. If judges were to interpret the Second Amendment out of the Constitution and say people don't have a right and say the government can take them away, there could be bloodshed. It has been proposed by Supreme Court justice and others that the Second Amendment should be repealed. As a matter of law, repealing the Second Amendment, we would still have the right to keep and bear arms. Although the judges will rule that since the Second Amendment has been taken out, we don't, even though we do. As a matter of law, the government would need to pass an amendment specifically repealing the Second Amendment and saying the government has the power to take the guns away. If they do that, they will also need to repeal the Fourth Amendment because the government will need to take the guns away. They'll need to bust down your door, enter your house, and take your guns. Fourth Amendment says people have a right to be secure in their houses. But if the government is going to take your guns away, you can't be secure. So if the Second Amendment goes, so does the Fourth Amendment. In Australia and New Zealand, the government said, turn in your firearms. They're no longer legal. And the people dutifully stood in line, turned in their firearms. But Americans are different. The right to keep and bear arms is what makes us Americans. Losing that right will no longer be Americans. We'll be the same as anybody else in the world. No different, no better. Americans have a history of defending the right to keep and bear arms. 1775, King George told the soldiers, take their guns away. They tried. People died. In Gonzales, Texas, Mexican government told the people, turn in your cannon. People of Gonzales, Texas says, you want our cannon? Come and take it. They tried. And people died. In Waco, Texas, Janet Reno sent her jackbooted government thugs to take the guns away. They tried, and people died. If the government passes a law that says we don't have the right to have firearms, even though we do, the people will revolt. There will be massive bloodshed. About every month or so, in the local newspaper, there's a letter to the editor that says, well, nobody notices the part of the Second Amendment that says well-regulated militia. Well-regulated does not mean rules and regulations. It means a well-functioning militia. But let's say they're right. Well-regulated means rules and regulations. That would apply to the militia. By law, the militia is all males between 17 and 45. I'm a male that falls outside of that category. Women fall outside of that category. Therefore, they will fall into the category of the people, whose right shall not be infringed. Is that what the Second Amendment says? The government could regulate and infringe on the militia, but not the people? No. But if you think well-regulated means rules and regulations, that's what you think. Second Amendment is what makes us Americans. Take the Second Amendment away, there will be bloodshed. And if the government wins, we will no longer be Americans. We will be nothing.